Welcome back to the reality guys. I'm your host Brian, and today I'm talking Love Is Blind Habibi, the reunion finally dropped. So the first 9 episodes premiered 3 weeks ago, and to my surprise, I appreciate one of the commenters like I guess I was talking about the reunion in one of the comments, and they replied like, "Hey, it was you're not going to get what you expect," and I was just like blown away and watched it today. It premiered today on Netflix. If you have not watched this series and you're just seeing this video for the first time, definitely watch it if you love Love Is Blind. It's very cool to see the different versions of the show, like where they are based on like the world and like their cultural differences and belief systems. Definitely worth a watch. I will say, I also appreciate all the comments that were on the last video. Both sides of like where the guy's right, where the guy's wrong. There's a lot of discussion in there. I will say, if you are pro guys, this will not be the video for you. I wish this was longer. It was only an hour and like 2 minutes. I think they could have really talked a lot more about some of the things, and I think they went pretty light on some of the dudes, like just some of the stuff. I mean, but I guess again, it's just like the cultural difference. They probably think what they did was right or it's okay, and what the girls did. But I think they could have really even brought in some of the singles too, to like kind of if they were talking to some of the guys and girls that were in the final couples, just to kind of get some insight on like maybe their conversations and maybe some of the things we didn't see, like, oh, I was talking to him, and maybe just stuff like that. I think it would have been really interesting. All right, so this was filmed a year later. So all six of the couples came back, and I'm not gonna lie, I am not really interested in some of these couples because they really weren't bringing the drama. Really, um, Nour brought most of the drama. I am Look, we knew she told us who she was. She was she was very upfront about what she wanted. Uh, was it something? Could it be annoying and like a little materialistic? Maybe she has too much self-esteem and high class. Yes, but she was consistent on who she was. So I'm gonna give her I'm gonna be siding with her a lot in this reunion and discussion because these dudes are just they're clowns. This is really just like a 3 or 4 man clown show. And I mean, the host finally stepped in at one point to stop the bashing, but I mean, it was too long. It was the first 20 minutes were literally 3 or 4 dudes and Dounia ganging up on Nour, and I thought she handled herself pretty well. Like she took all the blows. She was like, I mean, I think, had the right to rebuttal for some of the things they're saying, and she never raised her voice. I, I got to give her kudos to that because we just watched the regular Love Is Blind USA, and we have a bunch of girls just yelling at dudes, screaming. So I just think when you come off screaming and yelling and being very insulting, especially about your looks and things like that, it even if you like, I don't know how you can support that. I thought it was crazy. So we open up with so we know that Mohammed and Safa were the one married couple. They are still together currently. They do talk about them, maybe the third, fourth couple. I'm not really gonna dive into them because there really wasn't really. I'm not really interested in that. There was no drama there. I'm happy they're together. I'm happy it's working out. Good for them. I think it's just a good, if they're going to do the show again, they need to have one successful couple. So it's good for that. I think for the future of the show, they need that. So good for them. Um, the other ones that were on the fringe was Asma and Katab and Dounia and Shafik. So there's one couch sitting there. They're like, they're like, who do we think is the one couple that's still together? And it is Shafik and Dounia. So they move over to that couch. Asma and Katab, they were only together a month after the experiment. Um, Katab said he just said like how busy he was. He like only sleeps like 3 hours a day. I thought that was pretty crazy. They are still friends. They talk. No hard feelings, and I think that's good to see. Like just because based on what we see next, I think like just them having like a good okay breakup, it's good because we can't always have just a bunch of bad stuff. All right, so the next couple is we talk about is Mido and Noor, and he he just starts off saying that he thinks she's too materialistic. I think we knew that. She knows what she wants. Is she too materialistic? Probably, but she never really said that she wasn't that. So I'm not gonna give her a ton of crap for that. She responds with she has standards. So I'm gonna run through these notes. I wrote down as much as I could because it was just like crazy back and forth. Then Shafiq, this dude is covered in clown juice. I don't know how you can support this dude. I think he's a total bum. He comes in. interjects with like, oh, she basically saying like she was looking for an ATM, basically like a rich dude. Um, and then there's a lot of interaction right there where Dounia and Shafiq are talking to Noor, and like I said, she never raises her voice. She has her little jabs. She she trying these basically like she started giving some advice that I'm sure nobody wanted to hear, and Dunia's like, I would take any advice from anybody on the stage that is a woman except for you, and it starts just going off the wall here, and she says to Dunya like, hey, you need to control your fiance. Um, Mito says like at least Dunya has natural beauty, and I was like, all right, this is getting crazy. Like I don't, and the host is just sitting there. I mean, I don't know what they're supposed to do at this point, uh, besides interject. I mean, they could be like, hey, 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 they just sit there quietly. And so I did see some comments on Reddit like the host did a good job. I mean, they did a good job. They did a good job 20 minutes in when they stopped it. But so the advice that she was giving is she wants to be spoiled like she was spoiled by her parents, and she wants her future man to do that. And I mean, good luck finding that. I mean, it's gonna be tough maybe to get exactly what you want, like a rich dude, like he may be like a jerk or like a scrub and he's just rich, but like I don't know that's what she wants. Obviously these guys don't like it, but the theme of this is like the guys don't like being told no. I don't really what it comes down to is Mito. He definitely he's definitely still butthurt about being rejected, and we knew as soon as they got revealed in the pods that she was not into him, and that happens. It happens on the main series show. It happens in the US version. It happens in the Mexico version. It happens in the UK version. It's not like love technically is not blind fully. Like you're gonna have your attractions. She wasn't feeling it. Should they have done things differently and like post at the honeymoon? Definitely. He shouldn't have walked away without saying anything. She should have been more upfront about it. Like I think we all know that. The dentist Amar he chimes in and he says like, "Oh well, you didn't leave with anybody here, so you can't be perfect." And she's like, "Oh, you're telling me this, Mr. Perfect? You were dumped halfway through the experiment." And I thought that was a really good dig back, like just calm, cool, and collective. She says it. She also refers to Dounia, who is defending Shafiq like crazy, because I think that's what a lot of these guys like, and that's what the kind of thing with Simu when he is mad at Hajar that she was not standing up for him. Like they want like full 100% backing no matter what the situation. And I think I thought Dounia looked like full. She's just like you can support your guy, but like just yelling at she's basically like endorsing all these dudes yelling at one chick. And she's like, and then Nora's like, you're acting like your husband looks like Ronaldo. And I was like, that's really funny. That made me, I actually laughed out loud at that part. I thought that was really good. And then like, they're just like, oh, well, like me does a catch. Uh, any girl would be lucky to have him. And she just is rolling her eyes. And this goes on for 20 minutes. And finally, Karma and the other girls are like, stop. They finally say something like, hey, stop bullying the women here. Like, this is kind of getting ridiculous. And then I think Noor's like, you guys are not men. Like you guys are like beneath men the way you're talking to women like this. And then Seymour chimes in, he's like, we're not just men, we're the equivalent of 100 men. I was like, this dude is a loser. Finally, the female host chimes in and says, she's like, I'm sick of this. Like, you need to cut the crap. Like, why are we doing this? Like, we're supposed to come here, discuss what happened. If you respect each other. And I'm glad she said this, but she should have said this maybe 5 or 10 minutes sooner. But again, I don't know if like producers are in her ear saying this or because they all had earpieces in. And like the male host, I mean, he didn't really do shit to be honest with you. He just sat there and kind of gassed up some of the situations that like were dumb. There's so many cut-ins to Noor, like while and I'll get to it when we actually talk about Shafiq and Dounia. Like I didn't care about any of that stuff. They acted like they were like this like couple that you want to be, and that's like one of the why would you want to be that couple? Like this I don't believe anything that comes out of this dude's mouth. And she was just basically saying after that, like commenting like, you can't be talking about like looks and class like the way you are to this girl. And I just none of the dudes said anything after that. They didn't apologize for it. I mean, what's his face? Midu apologizes at the end, but bunch of crap. I mean, I don't know. I know the comment section is definitely going to disagree. Half of them is going to disagree. Half of them is going to agree with what I'm saying. But I thought Noor handled this like this. You can love her or hate her. I thought she handled these clowns like a boss. All three or four of those losers, big time losers. All right. So then we talked about Muhammad and Safa. Like I said, happy for them to be together, but it's just like not interesting to me. Like I don't really care about that. So then we move on to Umar and Karma. She basically is like, hey, I wanted more respect in the relationship. He doubles down on saying that he like was doing this and like he supported her. And then they show a clip of him saying like, no matter what happens, like I'll be there for you, I'll support you. And then it's the host is like, what do you after that seeing this, what do you think? And he's just like, oh, I was just trying to I wasn't trying to control her, I was just trying to protect her. And I was just like, all right, dude, like the it's just different. It's completely different. And I'm not going to bash their like how they believe like things should be. It's just a completely different world. Like where I live in America compared to over there, and there's that's just the way it is. It's the way it is. The girls out, some of the women don't obviously don't agree with it. Um, Muhammad and Safa didn't really chime in that much into some of these like kind of arguments. It was really just like Hajar, Karma, and Noor, and what's her Asma. She was sitting there, but she wasn't really chiming in. And Dounia was on the dude side. Uh, I don't know. Then we just saw montages of them again, or like some more montages, and I don't care. And then we moved on to Shafiq and Dounia, and man, I didn't care about this sappy BS. It was a bunch of crap. I thought this dude was a loser from day one, but I think he's a total clown. I don't know why. Like they were, and like the hosts were really like celebrating their being together, and apparently he doesn't know a lot of Arabic, and he's been with her now for a year, and he's still like he was having trouble in the conversation with the Arabic, and also if you're like if you're watching this review, like there's no English dubbing, so like had to read the subtitles. I actually think it was better like hearing their actual voice and not with the terrible Netflix dubbing actors that are just they're monotone and stuff like that. But uh, there was a lot of flipping again between Arabic, what I think was Arabic, some French, and then some English, and they would be like mid sentence, and it's just crazy that like in over here like we were ignorant and we only try to know barely any languages, and it's just kind of crazy, but gotta respect that. All right, then we talk about Hajar and Simu. This is the first time they've seen each other since the beach and at the experiment. We knew where this was going to go. He brings up the cake comment for one last ride about like how she made like comments definitely about how on a bachelorette party maybe she wants like another taste of something. I remember when I watched that, I was like, that's crazy to say. Especially like even it's hard to tell. She said it was a joke. She thought she had a comfortable space where she could be herself, like making jokes like that. And I will say that's fine, but I think it's hard to tell. It's almost like joking in text when you don't really know somebody because you're just reading words. You can't really emphasize the words. Like when you're like if you're seeing somebody face to face, you can see the facial expressions. Maybe they smile after they say it. Like there's things that I think if they were talking face to face, it might have gone over a little bit differently. Like he might have still been annoyed, but he might not have been like completely turned off. I mean, they still got engaged, but like at that situation. So she regrets saying it completely. She's been getting a lot of hate comments on the internet, and again, we don't need to comment on these people's walls, their walls. We don't need to copy on talk on their Instagram and things bashing the contestants. Like if we went on these things, like anything we say could be dissected and ridiculed and made fun of. So got to keep that in mind about people on TV shows. And then she brings up like, well, what's the difference between me saying that and then when at the beach scene before he got in a fight with Shafiq, Noor and had like dirt or something sand on her butt or something like that, and he told her to turn around and clean it up, and just comparing the two things like that was completely unnecessary. She Noor said like her and Hajar had a conversation about well that was on her behind, and I guess they knew about it. Again, like we weren't shown that. I think we're reaching at straws here about like the about like it's just it was weird. I mean, I'm glad to hear from them, but I don't know. We knew where that was going. But the other thing with the SEMO thing is, so one of the contestants, Yasmin, who was not chosen to be in the final couples, had a mess of like a video message for SEMO. Apparently, uh, he had some Instagram posts that he deleted and saying, I don't know what it said. Obviously, I didn't see it. Says that she was just trying to be herself, and in front of the cameras and off camera, and she's happy she left. She's happy after watching everything, seeing how it all played out, her decision, and uh, I felt happy to leave and save my dignity, is what she said. And then Simo, I mean, this is a dude that probably he did say sorry to Shafik. Like, I mean, there was a little bonding where like him and Shafik like apologized for their little scuffle, but like none of the dudes apologized to any of the women. It's kind of crazy. Besides Mito at the end of the thing after he looked like an absolute fool yelling at Noor. But that was pretty much it. And honestly, I wish there was a little more. I mean, we waited 3 weeks for this. I think we could have gone in deeper. I mean, we really a third of it was just the Noor bashing that the dudes did, but I enjoyed the show. I thought it was really good. Like I said, Love Is Blind is one of our favorite things to cover on this page, and I was really happy to see all the engagement on the last video. Like when I watched this show, and I was like, I'm just gonna throw something out there, put it out there. I was not expecting to get the like the views, the comments, all that stuff. I like it just shows how popular Love Is Blind is, and like everyone has Netflix, and it's cool. And the one thing I think that is cool is like we're seeing this show done in other countries, and I think a lot of people watching it who are in that background or live over there, it's cool to see a representation of where they live and where they're from. I think that's really cool. And like there's also Love Is Blind Argentina coming out on in 4 days. So that's today's Friday, so Tuesday. We will be covering that. At least I will be covering it. At least maybe Bill. But leave any comments below. I'm not going to go crazy in getting in, I guess, debates about the guys were right and things like that. Like you want to post on here? I'd love to hear your opinion about it, but probably not going to agree with you. But I'd love to see what you have to say. We can have I guess, a friendly discourse, and some of the other people in the comments could do it as well. But I want to thank you all for watching. And hopefully, I would love to see a season two. I think it would be really interesting to see. And now that we know some of the things, maybe they can even push it a little more to the culture over there. Like they did, like a lot of things like they did differently. Like they weren't living together, they were not doing being physical at all, and they talked about some of the stuff what they did with Kitab and Asma, where getting the blessings. That stuff's not really happening in the USA. Like you ask for permission, but they're still going to do it anyways over in the USA. But like it's a harder line here. So it's definitely interesting to see learn about those things and see what's the difference between the US version. So appreciate it. So appreciate all of you for watching. If you made it this far, please like and comment below, and let me know any other show suggestions you see. If there's any other foreign shows you want me to check out, I'll definitely give it a chance. So appreciate everybody for watching. I'll talk to you next video. See you.